Ball checks in. Using the clock. Davis has it blocked on the length of Holiday. Justin Holiday. Brogdon, Oladipo. Deep three. Ibaka tracks it down. He's got a double-double, 22 points, 10 rebounds.
And time the clock, right? I mean, time and score. Raptors doing a good job just taking their time, using as much clock as they can.
Pascal. Air ball. And the Raptors up 115-106. Brogdon. And getting around Pascal, but battling there. Save McCall to Siakam, and that's going to do it. The Toronto Raptors extend their franchise record 12 consecutive wins to 13 straight now. They take care of business tonight in Indiana without Kyle Lowry, who played 28 games and left the game with whiplash. And no Norman Powell, and Marcus saw Ibaka, big-time performance. Terrence Davis with a huge night off of the bench. And Terrence Davis and T.J. McConnell, two undrafted players, having a conversation and a lot of respect between those two. Serge was outstanding. And the Toronto Raptors with the victory here, 115-106.
Impressive performance. The Raptors have been as good as anybody on the road this season. They're comfortable playing on the road. And when you get performances across the board, OG stepped up. Terrence Davis, big as a rookie. Ibaka and Kyle Lowry was huge before he left the game. This is a team win of a team that you see when they lock in, they're focused, they get it done.
All right, let's send it over to Brad Fitt.
Quick drink for Terrence Davis. Nothing new for your team. Kyle goes out in the third quarter. It's next man up. How did you close out win number 13 in a row?
Oh, man, just perseverance, man. You know, this team has always been next man up. We had a couple injuries throughout the season, and, you know, it's like in our DNA, man. Next man up, we got some guys down, and that's what great teams do. The next man just step up.
After a dunk in the fourth quarter, you came by the bench and you heard Matt Devlin yell, "Terrence Davis loving life," and you smiled and gave it a point. Is there any other way to describe what's going on with you right now and your teammates?
Just work, man. Work. Put the work in. It's definitely going to show for all the young kids out there who are chasing their dreams. I always want to say, young kid, keep going, man. Keep putting in the work. Behind closed doors, and once you get the light, as my man Serge, once you get the light, man, it's going to all show. So keep working, man.
And 13 in a row, and you guys are needing every one because of the way the standings are. So looking ahead to tomorrow, Brooklyn, what do you got?
Yes, sir. Right back to it, man. Flight home, you know, eat right, fluid, get good sleep, and we back to it, man.
Terrence, thanks for this.
Thank you.
Terrence Davis, the rookie, the only player that has played every game for the Raptors this year, and a virtuoso fourth quarter for him made sure they put this one away without their leader, Kyle Lowry, who was unable to play the latter part of the third quarter and the fourth quarter after suffering whiplash. So there it is. Friday the 13th, as it were, 13th straight on a Friday night in Indianapolis at Sportsnet Central with Alex and Martine right now.
This is Sportsnet Central. Martin Geyer, Alex Xero with you, and we'll hear from Nick Nurse in a little bit as the Raptors have now won 13 straight games. 13. And it's been the story of the season. Anytime this team faces adversity, they usually find a way to pull through. No Gasol, no Powell. Pascal gets hurt. No Kyle Lowry from late third quarter onwards. And they still have 6 Raptors finishing in double digits, being a really good team in their own barn tonight.
Unbelievable. And when you think of what past Toronto teams have accomplished, this is setting the bar. Every win is just raising it. They played the Pacers Wednesday. They come from behind win. They wouldn't need that on this night. On that franchise record, 12-game win streak. They have not lost since January 12th. First quarter, Kyle Lowry coming out of the gate, knocking down shots as he pours in 10 points in that opening quarter. Lowry passing Vince Carter for third most points in the franchise for Jeremy Lamb coming off the screen. He's going to knock down the triple. Then, off the inbounds, Toronto turns it over. Victor Oladipo laying it in, but on the play, check this out. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson poking Pascal Siakam in the eye. Teammates hurting one another. Siakam forced to head back to the dressing room. Would that prove to be bad news? Well, later in the second, Lowry, look at that nice no-look feed to Serge Ibaka. He gets up, throws down a big dunk, and the Raptors had the 1-point lead at the half. All right, good news for Toronto. If you just caught that second half, you did see him. Siakam came back to start the second half, but sporting a red left eye. Then in the third quarter, Lowry intercepts the pass, takes it the other way, holding off Malcolm Brogdon. He lays it in, plus the foul. Then later on in the third, Lowry driving. He's going to get fouled, but as he hits the floor, check that as he collides hard with Ibaka. Again, teammates running into each other. He's clearly shaken up. He would leave the game with whiplash and will not return. It looked like it could have been a worse injury. Fourth quarter, Ibaka blowing past the defender, sends it to Hollis-Jefferson, who throws down a huge dunk over Justin Holiday. Raps had a 6-point lead, and shortly after that, Doug McDermott pulling up in the corner, but Terrence Davis getting to him and comes up with the monster rejection. At the other end, Siakam misses the jumper, but Davis soaring in for a massive putback jam. The kid performing tonight, capping off an 8-0 run. And under 2 to play, it's Fred VanVleet, the great pass to Davis, who rises up again for another big two-handed slam. Toronto had a 10-point lead at that point, and they will go on to win their 13th straight game, 115-106 the final. And that wraps 13-game win streak, the second longest in the NBA this season. How is this for poetic justice, I guess you would say? Only Milwaukee's 18-game streak is longer, and interestingly, if the Raptors get to 19 in a row, number 19 will have to come against those same Bucks. All right, for their thoughts on tonight's game, let's head back to Indy and hear from Matt Devlin and Leo Robbins.
All right, Leo, what a performance by Terrence Davis, with Kyle Lowry leaving the game with whiplash and not being able to return. Davis with 11 of his 17 in the fourth quarter.
What can you say about this young man? He just comes in and shows more and more of the confidence, the way he gets after it at both ends of the floor. But in this game, when the Raptors at times were struggling, he stepped up big. And the great thing about Terrence Davis, he's strong, he's physical, he will get into you, and he can take contact, he can dish it out the defensive end. Big time block there on a shooter, McDermott. But his willingness to make plays in crunch time, and Nick Nurse is now trusting him to be on the floor in critical times in the game. He was on the floor the other night against Indiana to finish the game, and in this game he was on the floor 17-8, had a couple of assists, but 11 of the 17 in the fourth quarter.
And the week started with a career best 31 against the Chicago Bulls. Now Serge Ibaka in his 19th start, another big-time performance. Remember, a season-high 30 on a Wednesday against Indiana. Back that up with 22 points and 10 rebounds tonight.
Hey, Matty, can you think of a big in the NBA that's playing better than Serge right now? I can. I mean, he's doing everything for this Toronto Raptors team. The confidence level's off the charts. He's playing the game the right way, and by that I mean he knows where shots come from. He's not forcing his game. He reads the defense, and he's shooting the ball with so much confidence, especially from three. This shot is like a layup for him right now, and his teammates do a great job of keeping him in the mix, getting him those looks. You mentioned the 22 and 10, but how about the percentages? 9 of 17, 3 of 5, and just like Terrence, 11 of his points coming in the second quarter.
Franchise record 10th consecutive win on the road. Overall, 13 straight for the Toronto Raptors. Franchise mark continues to grow. They'll take on Brooklyn tomorrow night, back home in Toronto, as we send it to Sportsnet Central.
Gentlemen, thanks so much. And here is the latest look at the Eastern Conference standings. 13 straight wins by your Toronto Raptors, but still they trail the Milwaukee Bucks by 6.5 games. However, there are 38 wins this season, tied with the Lakers for second most victories in all of the association. And a reminder, you heard Matt and Leo talk about it. It's now on a plane back home little rest, some liquids, a nice meal, and they'll be back at it again against the T-Wolves at Scotiabank Arena. You can see all the action beginning 7 o'clock Eastern. Oh, actually, that's tomorrow, but on Monday, we have the game against the T-Wolves.
I don't think there's much doubt that Frederik Andersen has been Toronto Maple Leafs MVP so far this season.
A lot will ride on number 31 and the way that he plays.
Hoffman with an odd-man rush, hung out, and a collision, and Anderson gets drilled.
Again, the report on Frederik Andersen, upper body injury, will not return tonight. Tonight, all eyes will be on Michael Hutchinson, and he knows it.
Scores! Right off the draw. They're carrying a game down. Kreider scores! Gallagher's continued to the shot, scores!
Watch the goalie. Whoa!
You watched any of last night's game, you know Michael Hutchinson's just not good enough to play in the NHL.
It's got to be disconcerting for Sheldon Keefe and the Leafs organization.
Yeah, you know, last week was pretty good for the Maple Leafs. Played 3 games, won them all. This week, a whole different story. Lost their goaltender to injury, lost on Monday, lost on Wednesday. Then they made a trade, and head coach Sheldon Keefe was hoping the additions of Jack Campbell and Kyle Clifford would give the Leafs a much-needed boost, as both debuted Friday night against the Anaheim Ducks. And with the Leafs on the outside looking in, they had to play this one without William Nylander, who was a late scratch with an illness. So Keefe had to juggle his lines. And the newcomers, there's Clifford and Jack Campbell, both donning the blue and white for the very first time. Campbell had mom and dad in attendance. First period, Leafs with the puck. Mitch Marner playing without a glove as play continues. Marner picks it back up, and as they head down the ice, Austin Matthews finds Marner, who then feeds Andreas Janssen. Moved up to that top line tonight. Marner extending his point streak to 7 games. It is 1-0 Toronto. Later, check out the pass from Cam Fowler to Nicholas Deslauriers, wide open. Nothing Campbell could do about that one. First goal in 32 games for Deslauriers. We're tied at 1. Second period.
He looked like Austin Matthews on that one.
To John Tavares. Beats Ryan Miller far side. Goals in 3 straight for the captain. It's 2-1. And more from the Leafs.
Here comes Marner for Tavares to Matthews, scores! Number 40 for Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews becomes the 5th player in Toronto Maple Leafs history to record multiple 40-goal seasons.
Yes, Matthews matching his career high with number 40. Also ties Alex Ovechkin for the NHL lead. Not bad. He might score 60 this season. It's 3-1. Third period, though. Ducks shorthanded. Leafs cough it up. Max Jones goes the other way, shoots and scores. Sloppy turnover. Campbell can't stop that one, so the Ducks are within 1, and shortly after, Clifford getting tied up with Michael Del Zotto, called for holding the stick, so Anaheim
That was a lame call.
advantage on the ensuing power play. Campbell has some trouble with the puck behind the net, turns it over, play continues. Andre Kasha steps in front, and Adam Henry
Night, Mom.
with the lovely hand-eye coordination, bats the puck out of midair. We're tied at 3. Under 4 to go, though. Leafs on the rush.
Jason Spezza down the wing, tees it up, Larry rolls on, scores!
Nice shot.
Shot by Spezza!
How good has Jason Spezza been turning back the clock again? Number 9 fakes out
Jay
Miller,
Spezza.
4-3. Under a minute to go. Net empty for the Ducks. Shot from the point gets through. Campbell off the skate of Justin Hall and just over the line.
Almost stopped it.
Seconds away from winning. Derek Grant gets the goal. We're tied at 4. Off to OT in the extra frame. Ricard Raquel, trips up Mitch Marner in the neutral zone, sending the Leafs to the power play with a minute left to go. 4 forwards on the ice. Dying seconds. Marner to John Tavares.
JT.
Stick on it and beats Miller for the OT winner, his second power play goal of the game. Leafs take it 5-4, 2 big points, but Sheldon Keefe not thrilled with letting Anaheim back in that third period.
Right from the drop of the puck in the third, we were just on our heels, and it seems like we're just lacking some confidence in those situations, like almost like we're waiting or expecting something bad to happen, and it's not what we want to be about. Early when we play like that, we're not a very good team, So we need to get on our toes and get our swagger and get our confidence, I think.
You know, obviously, we want to lock the game down and, you know, kind of suck the life out of them, but, you know, it's good to get the win. Not the way we want to do it, but let's get the 2 points, and that's what's important. We're moving up in the standings.
I mean, what a resilient group. You know, it's a tough game, you know, when you give up the lead like that, and, you know, it's unacceptable on my end to do that, but as a team, we got to appreciate the resilience and came right back, and big goal in overtime, so big 2 points, and now we're getting ready for one tomorrow.
Yeah, no kidding. Huge 2 points. Maple Leafs are now in a playoff spot for the time being. They leapfrog the Florida Panthers for third in the Atlantic. Islanders and the Hurricanes are your two wildcard teams. Toronto is in Montreal tomorrow. And Saturday is, of course, Scotiabank. Hockey Day in Canada from Yellowknife. The coverage beginning at 1 o'clock Eastern on Sportsnet and CBC. Every single Canadian team will be in action with the Sens and the Jets getting things going at 2 o'clock Eastern time. So, a big win for the Maple Leafs tonight and a big win for the Toronto Raptors, who pulled off the W in Indiana without Kyle Lowry, and we're hoping to get an update on him maybe now.
You know, Brad Fay said it earlier, it's next man up, and the next man up on our show is Nick Nurse, who has to be pleased with yet another resilient effort from his team.
Nick, unlike last game, the defense really seemed to step forward, especially in the fourth quarter. Some real resiliency there. Guys digging back, cracking back, getting hands on balls, deflections. I mean, just how hard you guys played at the end.
It was a heck of a game. You know, I thought the intensity level was the whole way through was way up there. I thought we were into it the whole 48 minutes, and I thought we were playing well enough to maybe get away. We just couldn't get away at all, you know, and they were playing really good too, and, you know, with the same speed and intensity and force. And we just, you know, I think you know how those games come down to. Somebody hits a couple at one end and somebody misses a couple at the other, and all of a sudden the game's over, right?
It seemed to be Terrence making big shots, especially at the end. It was great again.
Yeah, he was great again. It's, you know, a couple games in a row where we've closed with him out of necessity, but again, if you know, he's going to shoot because he's not afraid, and he did a great job of reading some of the cuts in behind too. He had a big fourth quarter.
Is he growing in the sense that you see him growing?
Oh yeah, he's maturing a lot really quickly. I think again, you know, it's just opportunities there for him, right? And we got to play him out there, and he's getting to play in the guts of game against a really good team. You know, it takes a little time and reps and all that stuff, and he's making the most of it.
They told us Kyle with the whiplash.
Yes.
Any indication of how serious this is? Like, is this beyond tonight, or is it something like back?
I don't know. I think that there's you know, they X-rayed it and there's nothing there, but it is really sore. I just talked to him. Yeah, I would be surprised if he's ready to go tomorrow. You know, so I would imagine he's out for a little while.
With Pascal, were you a little reluctant to bring him back? It looked like you had him out there for a while, and then he came back in. Like, I don't know what the side was like.
No,
Did you see it red?
no, it was just we were just trying to get him to a reasonable number minutes wise, and you know, I thought those, you know, it was one of those good nights where OG was playing great, Rondé was playing very well, Pat was playing very well. You know, it wasn't like it felt like we were missing something out there. Really, we were those guys were guarding and playing well and rebounding. Yeah.
There you heard Nick Nurse. Doesn't sound like Kyle Lowry will be ready for tomorrow's game against the Nets. At least he would be surprised if he was. And he was averaging close to 20 points per game, more than 7 rebounds, rather 7 assists and more than 4 rebounds per game. So a huge loss for this Raptor team, who's had to deal with so many injuries all season long.
That's the frustrating part, is that, I mean, the good thing for the Raptors is next man out, and they'll probably be okay tomorrow against Brooklyn. But with so many games left to go, you want to see them as healthy as possible before the playoffs.
Of course.
So they could have 3 regulars out of the lineup tomorrow.
All right, still to come, we'll have more reaction to the Raptors win tonight in Indianapolis, and we're going to show you some other highlights from around the association.
Yes, and after Charles Barkley called the 76ers soft like porridge, how will they respond tonight? Soft serve, I like that.
Soft serve.
We'll have that next for you, right here on Sportsnet Central.